All right, let's dive into the world of corporate risk management.
Yeah,
Today, we're all about getting you prepped for that big interview.
that's right.
Specifically, how to land that awesome corporate risk manager position. We're not just talking about avoiding those little interview slip-ups.
Right.
This is about showcasing your expertise in navigating the complex world of business risks and, of course, opportunities.
Absolutely. Think of yourself as that strategic guardian,
Okay.
the one anticipating those unexpected twists and turns in the business world and steering the company toward a secure and successful future.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The RoleCatcher Career Guide really emphasizes that this role is a blend of analytical prowess and strategic foresight,
I like that.
which are highly sought after in today's business environment.
For sure. So to help us out, we've got this treasure trove of resources from RoleCatcher,
We do.
a career guide, an interview guide, and even sample questions, all to put your knowledge to the test. We'll be dissecting these resources, equipping you with the insights and strategies to ace that interview.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh, right.
It can analyze those tricky job descriptions and tailor your CV to highlight your most relevant skills. Plus, it can even provide feedback on your interview answers, giving you a personalized edge.
Yeah, we'll definitely explore that AI advantage a little bit later on.
Sounds good.
But first, let's dive into some of those interview questions. And trust me, we're not going to give you just textbook answers.
Yeah.
We're going to help you really understand what those interviewers are truly looking for,
Yes.
how to craft responses that resonate with their needs, and maybe even anticipate those tricky follow-up questions they might throw your way.
Exactly. Let's kick things off with a classic.
Okay.
How would you define risk management? Now, it might seem straightforward, but your response can really set the tone for the whole interview.
It's all about making that first impression count.
Right.
Now, the RoleCatcher Interview Guide, it warns against simply regurgitating a textbook definition.
It does.
So what are the interviewers really seeking here?
They're really looking for your unique perspective, your understanding of risk in a real-world business context.
Okay.
So instead of just listing concepts like risk identification, assessment, and mitigation, try to connect them to practical examples from your own experience.
So instead of saying, risk management is about identifying, assessing, and mitigating potential risks, you could say something like, in my previous role, I noticed this gap in our data security protocols that could have exposed us to cyber threats. I initiated a risk assessment, implemented new security measures, and reduced the risk of data breaches by 15%.
Yeah.
Now that's impactful, Ruth.
Precisely. And be prepared for those follow-up questions like, what specific methodologies did you use in your risk assessment? Or how did you measure the effectiveness of your mitigation strategies?
So it's really all about being prepared to go deeper.
It is.
Okay, so we've tackled the definition. What's next on our interview question hit list?
Let's move on to, can you describe your experience in conducting risk assessments? This one is all about showcasing those practical skills
Okay.
and demonstrating a deep understanding of various methodologies.
The RoleCatcher Interview Guide suggests briefly mentioning specific methodologies used, even if the interviewer doesn't explicitly ask.
Absolutely. Were you involved in quantitative risk assessments, qualitative assessments, or maybe a blend of both?
Yeah.
Highlighting those specifics really paints a clearer picture of your expertise.
And remember, don't just list assessments you've done.
Yeah.
Prepare like a concise success story.
Yes.
That illustrates your approach and the positive outcomes you achieved.
Yeah.
What kind of follow-up questions might come up here?
Well, the interviewer might want to delve deeper into a particular assessment you mentioned, asking about, maybe the challenges you faced or the stakeholders involved or the specific tools and techniques you employed,
Okay.
just to get a better sense of, your process.
So it's crucial to be prepared to elaborate on any experience you choose to highlight.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears to, how do you prioritize risks in a risk management plan? This question probes your systematic approach and ability to make those tough decisions when faced with competing priorities.
Yeah. The RoleCatcher Interview Guide really stresses the importance of demonstrating a structured approach to risk assessment. It's about more than just gut feeling. It's about having that solid framework in place.
Absolutely. You need to showcase your ability to assess the likelihood and impact of risks. Assign risk ratings and ultimately determine which risks demand that immediate attention and which can be addressed later.
So walk them through your prioritization process.
Mm.
Do you use a risk matrix, a scoring system,
Okay.
or maybe a combination of methods? And again, a real-world example demonstrating your thought process will bring this to life.
Absolutely. And think about potential follow-up questions like, how do you balance competing risks when resources are limited?
Okay.
Or how do you communicate your prioritization rationale to key stakeholders?
Right. Preparing for these follow-ups will really demonstrate your ability to think on your feet and address those real-world complexities.
Exactly. Welcome back to our deep dive into acing that corporate risk manager interview.
Yeah,
We've already covered some crucial ground,
for sure.
but let's keep this momentum going and tackle more of those challenging questions.
You bet. Our listeners are eager to gain that extra edge.
I bet they are.
And we're here to equip them with the insights and strategies they need to shine.
Absolutely.
What's up next on our interview question agenda?
Let's delve into communication and leadership with this question. How do you ensure that risk management policies and procedures are effectively communicated to employees?
Ooh, good one.
It's not just about creating policies.
Yeah.
It's about making sure they're understood and implemented throughout the organization.
The RoleCatcher Career Guide emphasizes that strong communication skills are essential for success in this role.
They are.
So it's crucial to demonstrate your ability to convey complex information in a clear, concise, and engaging manner.
Exactly. Think about different communication methods you've used.
Okay.
Training sessions, workshops, internal newsletters,
Uh-huh.
even visual aids or interactive platforms.
Right.
Highlight how you've tailored your communication style to different audiences.
Yeah.
And ensured that employees understand the why behind the policies.
And don't forget to mention feedback mechanisms.
Yes.
Demonstrate that you're proactive in ensuring policies are not only communicated,
Right.
but also implemented effectively.
For sure.
What kind of follow-up questions might interviewers ask here?
They might ask about a specific instance where you faced resistance to a new policy or procedure
Uh-huh.
and how you overcame those challenges.
Yeah, okay.
They could also inquire about how you measure the effectiveness of your communication efforts
Oh, interesting.
or how you keep up with evolving communication trends in the workplace.
Okay, let's shift gears to a question that tests your problem-solving skills under pressure.
Yeah, right.
Can you describe a time when you had to manage a crisis situation related to risk management?
Ooh.
This one is all about showcasing your ability to think on your feet
Right.
and navigate those high-stakes scenarios.
The RoleCatcher Interview Guide advises using the STAR method here. Situation, task, action, result.
I like that, yeah.
Walk them through the crisis.
Okay.
Highlight your specific role and actions,
Mhm.
and emphasize the positive outcomes you achieved.
This is your chance to demonstrate your composure, your decision-making abilities,
Absolutely.
and your capacity to lead through uncertainty.
That's right.
Choose a situation where your actions made a tangible difference.
Yep.
Where you turned a potential disaster into a manageable situation.
Right.
Or even a success story.
Exactly. Be prepared for follow-up questions like, what were the biggest challenges you faced during this crisis?
Good one.
Or, what lessons did you learn from this experience that you would apply to future situations?
Those are great points. Now let's move on to a question that assesses your commitment to staying ahead of the curve. How do you stay up to date with emerging risks and trends in risk management?
Interesting.
The risk landscape is constantly evolving,
It is.
so it's crucial to demonstrate that you're actively engaged in continuous learning.
The RoleCatcher Career Guide highlights the importance of professional development in this field.
Absolutely.
Mentions specific industry publications, professional organizations, conferences, online resources,
Yeah,
or even podcasts.
like this one.
Exactly, that you regularly engage with.
And don't just list resources.
No.
Share a specific example of a recent trend or development that caught your attention
Okay.
and how it's shaping your perspective on risk management.
Exactly. Now, let's tackle a question that explores your strategic thinking. Can you describe your experience in developing risk management strategies?
Ooh, strategic thinking. That's key.
It's about aligning those strategies with the organization's goals.
Right.
And demonstrating your ability to see the bigger picture.
The RoleCatcher Interview Guide emphasizes the importance of tailoring your strategies to the specific needs of the organization and industry.
Absolutely.
So instead of just listing generic strategies,
Right.
connect them to the specific challenges and opportunities faced by the company you're interviewing with.
And remember to quantify your results whenever possible.
Okay.
Did your strategies lead to a reduction in losses, improved compliance, or enhanced decision-making?
Yeah.
Show them the impact of your work.
What kind of follow-up questions could interviewers ask about developing risk management strategies?
They might delve deeper into a specific strategy you mentioned,
Okay.
asking about the stakeholders involved, the implementation process, or the challenges you faced along the way.
Uh-huh.
They could also ask how you measure the effectiveness of your strategies,
Right.
or how you adapt them to evolving business needs.
All right, let's move on to a question that highlights the crucial link between risk management and organizational success. How do you ensure that risk management aligns with the organization's strategic objectives?
Good question.
It's about demonstrating that you understand how risk management can be a driver of value, not just a cost center.
The RoleCatcher Career Guide underscores the importance of collaboration and communication in aligning risk management with strategic goals.
It does, yeah.
Highlight your experience working with different departments and stakeholders to ensure that risk mitigation efforts support overall business objectives.
And this is another great opportunity to use a real-world example.
It is.
Did you successfully integrate risk management into a strategic initiative?
Right.
Did you help a company achieve its goals while minimizing potential risks?
Yes.
Share a story that showcases your ability to connect risk management to tangible business outcomes.
Excellent point. Now let's shift gears to a question that assesses your leadership skills.
Leadership, love it.
Can you describe a time when you had to lead a team to manage a complex risk management project? This is about showcasing your ability to inspire, motivate, and guide a team toward a common goal.
The RoleCatcher Interview Guide stresses the importance of teamwork and collaboration in risk management.
It does.
So highlight your ability to delegate tasks, set clear expectations, communicate effectively, and foster a positive team environment.
Right.
Okay.
Choose a project that demonstrates your ability to handle complexity, overcome challenges, and achieve successful outcomes.
And be prepared for follow-up questions like, what were the biggest challenges you faced in leading this team?
Yes.
Or how did you handle conflicts or disagreements within the team?
Those are excellent points.
They are.
Now, before we move on to the next set of questions, let's take a moment to revisit the power of RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about how this AI magic can boost our listeners' confidence and give them a competitive edge. How can they leverage RoleCatcher's AI to prepare for these complex questions and tailor their responses to specific job roles?
RoleCatcher's AI can analyze those lengthy job descriptions,
Okay.
identifying the key skills and experience that employers are looking for. Then it can help you tailor your CV and cover letter to highlight your most relevant qualifications.
So it goes beyond just crafting a killer application.
It does.
That's right. It can also help with interview preparation,
Absolutely.
which is what we're all about in this deep dive.
Exactly.
How does RoleCatcher's AI assist with interview practice and feedback?
Imagine this. You input those sample interview questions we've been discussing into RoleCatcher's AI platform.
Okay.
It analyzes those questions and provides personalized insights and tips on how to craft compelling responses that resonate with the specific role you're targeting.
Wow, so it's like having a virtual interview coach,
Yes.
guiding you on what to emphasize,
Right.
what examples to share,
Uh-huh.
and even how to structure your answers for maximum impact.
Exactly. It can even analyze your practice responses,
Cool.
providing feedback on clarity, conciseness, and relevance.
This is starting to sound like a game changer for anyone navigating the job market.
It is.
I can see why so many job seekers are turning to RoleCatcher to level up their search and gain that extra edge.
Absolutely. It's about combining your expertise and experience with the power of AI to create a winning interview strategy.
Okay, we've explored some challenging interview questions and revisited the power of RoleCatcher's AI.
We have.
But we're not done yet. In the final part of our deep dives, we'll tackle even more tricky questions,
Yes.
explore strategies for handling those curveball scenarios,
Right.
and leave you with some final thoughts to help you nail that interview and land your dream job.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to the final part of our Corporate Risk Manager Interview Deep Dive.
Ready for the last leg of our journey to interview mastery.
Absolutely. We've covered a ton of ground already, from dissecting those challenging questions to harnessing the power of RoleCatcher's AI.
But we've saved some of the trickiest questions for last, the ones that can really make or break an interview.
So let's get right to it. What's the first hurdle we need to help our listeners clear?
Let's talk about the dreaded salary question. What are your salary expectations?
Oh yeah, the moment of truth, right? Where you have to put a price tag on your expertise.
It's not just about throwing out a number. It's about knowing your worth and articulating it confidently.
And the RoleCatcher Career Guide provides some really valuable insights here. emphasizing researching industry benchmarks and salary ranges for comparable roles.
Absolutely. Before you even step into that interview room, arm yourself with data on average salaries in your location and for your level of experience.
So don't be shy about factoring in your skills, your accomplishments, and any specialized certifications you hold.
Right. It's about presenting a well-informed and reasonable range, not just a random figure.
And I love the tip from the RoleCatcher Interview Guide about framing your response as a range rather than a specific number.
Exactly. It shows flexibility while still demonstrating that you're serious about fair compensation.
Okay, salary talk done. What's next on our list of potential interview curveballs?
Let's tackle the deceptively simple yet crucial question. Tell me about yourself.
It sounds so open-ended. Where do you even begin?
This is your chance to craft a compelling narrative that highlights your professional journey and why you're the perfect fit for this role.
So the RoleCatcher Interview Guide suggests thinking of it as your risk management elevator pitch.
Yes, keep it concise, engaging, and focused on your relevant skills and experiences.
And remember, it's not just about reciting your resume. It's about telling a story that captures their attention and makes them want to learn more.
Exactly. Highlight key accomplishments, demonstrate your passion for risk management, and connect your experiences to the specific needs of the role.
Okay, so we've talked about showcasing our skills and experiences. But what about, turning the tables and asking the interviewers some insightful questions?
That's a great point. When the interviewer asks, "What questions do you have for me?" it's not the time to go blank.
Right, because it's your opportunity to show that you're engaged, curious, and genuinely interested in the role and the organization.
The RoleCatcher Interview Guide recommends preparing a few thoughtful questions in advance.
Right, it shows you've done your homework and that you're thinking beyond just getting the job.
Ask about the company's culture, their approach to risk management, or even specific projects you might be involved in.
And don't be afraid to inquire about professional development opportunities or the team dynamics.
Those are excellent questions that demonstrate your long-term vision and commitment to growth.
Okay, one last question before we wrap up this deep dive, and it's a classic. What are your strengths and weaknesses?
Ah, yes. The self-assessment question that can make even the most confident candidate stumble a little bit.
It's like holding a mirror up to your professional self and, analyzing your best and not so best qualities.
When discussing your strengths, choose those that are directly relevant to the role and back them up with concrete examples.
Like the RoleCatcher Interview Guide stresses, the importance of providing specific instances that demonstrate your strengths in action.
Exactly. Don't just say you're organized. Describe a time when your organizational skills saved the day or streamlined a complex process.
And when it comes to weaknesses, be honest but strategic.
Choose a weakness that you're actively working on improving and frame it in a positive light.
The RoleCatcher Interview Guide offers some great tips for framing weaknesses effectively.
For example, you could say, "I tend to be a perfectionist, which can sometimes slow me down, but I'm learning to prioritize tasks and delegate effectively to ensure timely completion."
It's about demonstrating self-awareness, a growth mindset, and a commitment to continuous improvement.
Now, before we sign off, let's remind our listeners about that secret weapon we've been talking about.
Yes, let's bring it all back to RoleCatcher's AI. It's not just a resource for finding jobs. It's a powerful tool for preparing to ace those interviews.
Think of it as your personalized interview coach, analyzing those tricky questions, tailoring your responses, and boosting your confidence every step of the way.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from deciphering interview questions to leveraging the power of AI.
But ultimately, the key to interview success is preparation, self-awareness, and a genuine passion for the field of risk management.
So go out there, armed with the knowledge and strategies we've discussed, and impress those interviewers.
Remember, an interview is your chance to shine, to showcase your expertise, and to land that dream corporate risk manager role. Best of luck on your journey.
And that wraps up our deep dive into acing the corporate risk manager interview. We hope you found these insights valuable and feel equipped to tackle those challenging questions.
Remember, preparation is key, and RoleCatcher is here to support you every step of the way.
Until next time, keep diving deep into knowledge and pursuing your career goals with confidence. This is The Deep Dive, signing off.